Today, we are diving into one of the most incredible stories from the ancient Indian epic, the Mahabharata. Now, this is a tale that really seems to blur the line between ancient myth and what sounds, well, a whole lot like modern biomedical technology.
So picture this. We have a text that's thousands of years old, and it tells the story of a queen who gives birth to 101 children, all at once. But the how, that is what is truly mind-bending. Because it wasn't described as some vague miracle, it was laid out as a very specific step-by-step procedure.
All right, so let's get into it. Our story starts with a royal crisis, right? A pregnancy that just completely defied all the laws of nature, and well, it ended in a way that nobody could have possibly predicted.
Queen Gandhari's pregnancy starts out just fine, but then it just keeps going. A whole year goes by, then another. We're talking 2 long, agonizing years, way beyond any normal human gestation. And then the moment of delivery finally arrives.
But instead of a child, she delivers this, a hard, lifeless, undifferentiated mass. Can you imagine? It's a moment of absolute tragedy and confusion. To everyone there, it looked like a total failure. Basically, a biological dead end.
Just as the queen is about to have it discarded, a wise sage named Vyasa steps in. And here's the thing, he doesn't offer a prayer or some magical chant. No, he proposes a methodical, almost clinical solution to this problem.
And this is where it gets really specific. Vyasa takes the mass and carefully, precisely, divides it into 101 individual pieces. Each one of those pieces is then placed into its own sealed pot, which has been filled with this nutrient-rich mixture of ghee and medicinal herbs. Then, they're simply put away to incubate.
After the incubation period is over, the pots are opened, and from them emerge 100 healthy sons and 1 daughter. Just think about that. One single biological mass transformed into 101 individual children. So, how in the world do we even begin to explain that?
Well, this is where the story shifts from feeling like an ancient myth to something that sounds uncannily like a modern scientific paper. Let's break down each step of what Vyasa did and see how it stacks up against modern science.
So, first step, dividing that mass of flesh. Now, if we just assume for a second that this mass was a cluster of undifferentiated stem cells, then what Vyasa did is the exact definition of a modern technique called embryo splitting. It's literally the first step in creating multiple identical clones from a single embryo. And you know, this isn't science fiction. The process you're seeing here, animal cloning, it uses that exact same principle. You take genetic material and you duplicate it to create a genetically identical copy. The Mahabharata describes the large-scale application of a theory we've only really mastered in our lifetime.
Okay, so you've split the embryos. Great. Now they need a place to grow, right? Since they couldn't be implanted back into the queen, Vyasa had to come up with an external solution. Well, science has a name for that concept. It's called ectogenesis, the idea of creating an artificial womb.
And this comparison is just incredible. On the left, you've got Vyasa's method, sealed clay pots filled with a nutrient broth. On the right, you have modern science's biobag, a sterile, sealed container filled with synthetic amniotic fluid, all designed to grow a fetus outside the body. The function? It's identical.
The final step was the incubation, and the texts are really clear about this. The pots were sealed, they were kept in a secure and climate-controlled location, and they were left totally undisturbed for the full length of a normal pregnancy. So Vyasa didn't just create 101 artificial wombs, he created an entire incubation facility.
So when you start putting all these pieces together, yeah, the story starts to look a lot less like some random miracle, and a lot more like a detailed technical report from a lab.
I mean, really think about it. We're talking about stem cell division, a nutrient-rich growth medium, artificial wombs, and a controlled incubation period. This isn't just one lucky guess, it's a whole sequence of interconnected procedures described thousands of years before we even had the tools to see a single cell.
Which of course leaves us with a final, absolutely fascinating question. Are we looking at a highly advanced scientific process, passed down through the ages as a myth, maybe a blueprint for a technology we lost? Or is it all just a powerful, poetic metaphor for the incredible potential that's hidden within life itself? The text doesn't give us the answer, but the parallels, they're just impossible to ignore.